We will start with variables. So open up a blank RPG Maker project. You start up an event and go to script. So what is a variable? It is a container for storing data. So you can have a variable can store all kinds of data, a lot of different types of data, but we will stick with numbers for now. So to declare a variable, you say let um, so let x equal 1. Let is the declaration, x is the variable name, equals is the operator, 1 is the value, and then the semicolon ends the line. So a very basic thing to do in programming, setting up variables. This is just syntax that you'll need to learn, that if you want to use a variable, you should declare it. I'm not sure if you have to in all cases, but you really should. So we'll say let this equal 1. And it doesn't have to be x. It could be let my variable equal 10, 10,000, doesn't matter. So if you want to see that, if you want to use this in some way, for now, just copy. You don't need to understand the syntax here. It's just alert, and then the curly or the brackets, and then something inside. So if you say alert X, we can talk to this person, and it says 1, because that is what is stored inside our container. I will just turn the music off so it doesn't get repetitive and annoying. So the reason we use variables is because you can change them. So what if we now say this is 500 and then we test again? Now it displays 500. And you can alter these. So this can be 500, and then if you want to change this, you don't redeclare. You only declare a variable once, and then now this is safe to use. So we can say x equals 20, and then alert that out again, so we can alert that out again so we can see the change. So it should pop up on the screen with 500, and then we have changed the value of this variable, and so now it should pop up with 20. So it's 500 and then 20. And yeah, you can do calculations with variables. So you can say let x equal 100 minus 10, because yeah, this is just a calculation. You can assign variables this way. So 100 minus 10, let's run it again, and it pops up with 90. So you can see how variables can be used. This could be health, and this could be your health minus a number to give you sort of how damage works. That's an idea of how damage works. You can also mix variables. So if we say, let's give it some context. Let's say HP equals 100. Let damage equal, say 25. You can then say HP equals HP minus damage. So what we've done here is we are using variables within the calculation. So we'll keep it nice and clear. You declare HP as a number, declare the damage as a number. We'll just alert out the HP so we can see that it's what we expect it to be. And then down here we are reusing HP, so we don't need to declare it again. We are just simply reusing it. And it is equal to 100 minus 25. 100, and then it becomes 75 because we've minus the 25. So yeah, you can use the same variable. You can assign to a variable and still use it in the calculation. So yeah, you can just keep doing that. HP equals HP minus damage, and it will just keep going. Starts at 100, minus 25, 75, minus 25 again, becomes 50. So let is what we use when we want to declare a variable that can change. What if we don't want a variable to change? We use const. So say the damage value should never change. You can say const damage equals 25. And then you would say let HP equal 100. And then HP equals HP minus damage. That's the same calculation we saw before. This is fine. HP can change because we used let. But if we try to make the damage different, if we try to say, oh, maybe the damage should actually be 50 now, well, it will break because we've said damage is a constant, which means it can't change. So let's try running this and see what happens. There we go. Assignment to constant variable, which means no bueno. This is not okay. So you use const if it's a value you don't want to change, basically. That's but this will come up again later. There are some almost exceptions, but it's for good reasons. Right, I think that's maybe it for a quick blast tutorial of variables. Just so you're in the know, you can have things like this is still a variable. Let the player name equal this. We'll get into data types in a bit. I just want you to see some of the different options you have. Let my health equal 100. That's just a number. This is some text or a string, as we call it. And then there's a funny thing called a Boolean, if you've never heard of it before. A Boolean is either true or false. So it can be, and this is handy if you want to do just a quick comparison. If you want to say, well, you know what, I won't get into it right now, but this is just some of the variables you will see. and of course const. Oh yeah, so variable names, there are different, what's the word I'm looking for? Different preferences of uh, how to type out a variable name. I think generally JavaScript uses something called camel case or camel case. This means the variable name starts with a lowercase letter, so it would be player, but then every word thereon starts with a capital. So this is camel case. It seems like people use this for variable names, for functions, which we'll get into later. But there is also Pascal case, which is where it starts with a capital and also every word thereon or therein. So I think probably stick with this one, and maybe we'll check out some documentation later to see what the preferred option is for JavaScript. But yeah, this is camel case. Okay, this is it for this video unless I remember that I've left something out. When naming a const, it seems like the preferred option is all capitals, and most likely with underscores in between. So something like that. So this still works, but yeah, the naming conventions generally seems like people prefer this.